In the previous classes, we have discussed the theory part of this chapter, chapter number 6, spreadsheets and introduction. In this class, we are going to study the practical aspects of this chapter. So first of all, this is the software Microsoft Excel that we are going to study. The first component of Microsoft Excel's screen is worksheet. It is a grid of cells made up of horizontal rows and vertical columns. So it is a grid of multiple cells. This whole part is called a worksheet. This is worksheet number 1. This is worksheet number 2. This is worksheet number 3. So a worksheet is a group of multiple cells, and these cells have vertical column and horizontal rows. So it is a grid of cells made up of horizontal rows and vertical columns. Now the software which we are going to study is Microsoft Excel. In Microsoft Excel, the worksheet contains 10,48,576 rows and 16,384 columns. We can see here. So these are rows, row number 1, row number 2, row number 3, and the last row is, you can see, control and then down arrow key, 10,48,576 row. Likewise, we have 16,384 columns in one single sheet, the last column being XFD. Now next thing is cell. Cell is a basic unit of worksheet, one of the most important part of a worksheet. This is a cell. Where numbers are typed, text is typed, and formulas are placed. So here we can place numbers, we can place text, and we can place formula also. For example, here I have placed number, here I have placed the text. You can see the numbers are right aligned and text is left aligned in a cell. Here we can write the formula also. For example, equal to B2 plus C2. So here I have placed a formula also, equal to B2 plus C2. So here in a cell we can enter a text, we can enter number, or we can enter a formula also. Cell is formed by intersection of row and column. Cell is a place where row and columns are intersected. Suppose here you can see the column C and the row number 2 is getting intersected here. So this is cell C2. This is cell C2, means column named C and row number 2 are getting intersected here. Each cell has a unique cell address. Every cell has a unique cell address. Suppose this is having the address C8, this is having the address K3. Okay, every cell in a worksheet will have a different cell address. No two cell addresses will be same. Now cell address. A cell address contains two things: column letter and row number. For example, if a cell is on 11th row and column is AB, then its address will be AB11. First we will write the name of the column and then we will write the number of the row. So a cell contains two things: first column letter and then row number. Here we can see this is C5. So C is here column name and 5 is the row number. So this cell C5 is formed by the intersection of column C and row number 5. Active cell. Active cell is the cell which is currently selected. For example, when we will click here C3, now C3 is the active cell. If we want to type anything, we can type in the active cell. active cell's address is displayed here in the address bar or name box. For example, right now B7 is the active cell, F3 is the active cell. The cell which is currently selected is the active cell. Cell pointer. If you want to know which cell is active, you have to see the cell pointer. An active cell has a boundary called a cell pointer. So if the cell is active, it will have a thick boundary, and this boundary is called cell pointer. A highlighted rectangular box is the cell pointer. You can see here F3 is the current active cell, and it is having a thick rectangular boundary, and this thick rectangular boundary is the cell pointer. Next thing we are having is column. A column is a vertical set of cells. It is a vertical set of cells. Vertical set of cells. Every column has its own alphabet. If you want to recognize a column, we recognize by an alphabet A, B, C, D. It starts from A and ends at X, F, D. So these are columns starting from A, then we have B, C, D like this. After Z, you can see we have AA, then AB, then AC, and likewise the last one is X, F, D. So these are all together called columns. Vertical group of cells. The column in which active cell is located is called active column. For example, you can see here our active cell is located, so the active column is B. Column named B is the active column. Now D is the active column. Now A is the active column. So the column in which the active cell is placed is called the active column. Next we are having is row. You know very well, a row is a horizontal set of cells. These are horizontal set of cells and are called row. These are called rows. Rows are having numbers to identify them. Row number 1, row number 2, row number 3, row number 4. So every row has its own number starting from 1 and ends at 1048576 because we have 10,48,576 rows. So it starts from 1 and ends at 10,48,576. So we have 10,48,576 rows. The row in which active cell is located is called the active row. You can see right now the active cell is located in row number 6. So row number 6 is the active row. Right now the active cell is in row number 6. So row number 6 is the active row. Address bar. The address bar is the small input bar. We call it input bar because we input our data here. It is at the left side of the window. It shows the address of the active cell. So this is the address bar. It gives us the address of the active cell. This is the address of the active cell. Right now the address of the active cell is C3. We can input the address of the cell also. For example, I want to go to cell H8, so I will just type H8 here, and then I will press enter, and now I am in the cell H8. So the address bar is the small input bar. Here we can input the address. If we want to go to a certain cell, it is at the left side of the window. You can see it is at the left side of the window. It shows the address of the active cell. Suppose right now a cell which is active is D10, so it will tell me the address of the cell D10. It is also called name box. One special name is given called name box. Next we are having is the formula bar. Formula bar is also an input bar. Here also we input text or we input any number. It is below the ribbon. So below this ribbon we have the formula bar. It shows the content of the active cell. Suppose right now this cell is the active cell. So the content in this cell is text. So it shows the content of the active cell. You can see this is the active cell and the content in this cell is the formula B2 plus C2. So it shows the content of the active cell. Whatever content is there in the active cell, it will show. We have G7 written here, so it will show G7. And you can also use it to enter a formula in a cell. Whatever you will write in it will also get entered in the cell. Suppose I write here ABC, it will get entered in the cell. So if you are trying to write something in the cell, you can either type directly in the cell or you can type in the formula bar. Next thing is title bar. It shows the name of our workbook and then followed by the application name, means name of the software. Right now we are using Microsoft Excel, so it will show Microsoft Excel. Title bar is at the top and it shows the name of our workbook. You can see the name of the workbook is book number 1. And now you can see name of the software or the program Microsoft Excel. So this is the title bar. It shows the name of the workbook and the name of the software. This is a workbook. This is a worksheet and multiple worksheet. If I will save these worksheets together, it will be called a workbook. Like we have different pages in a copy. So different pages combined together is called copy or note copy. Likewise, we have different worksheets and different worksheets combined together is called a workbook. Range of cell. A range of cell is a group of contiguous cells or continuous cells that form a rectangular area in shape. For example, I have selected multiple cells. So this is range of cell. Multiple cells combined together is called a range of cell. So a range of cell is a group of contiguous cells that form a rectangular area in shape. You can call a single cell also as range, or it can contain multiple cells. If we have selected a range, then the name box or the address bar will show us the address of the first cell. You can see the address of the first cell is C4 and it is showing C4 here. A range is written as first cell address, then semicolon, then last cell address. For example, this is our range. So the range is C4. The range right now we have selected is C4, C4, then semicolon, and then ratio sign, C4, then sign of ratio, and then we will write F8. So C4 ratio F8, we will write like this, C4 ratio F8. So we write a range like this. First the address of the first cell and then address of the last cell. First cell address, then ratio sign, and then last cell address. Next is the status bar. At the bottom we have one thin bar called the status bar. It is a thin bar at the bottom of the Excel window. This is called the status bar. Here you can see the options are there to increase, to zoom in or zoom out the Excel sheet. We can change the view also using this one. Okay. Next thing is a worksheet. We have defined worksheet before also. It is a grid of cells made up of rows and columns. So this is a grid of cells. It is made up of multiple columns and multiple rows. This is a worksheet. sheet number 3, worksheet number 3, worksheet number 2, worksheet number 1. Workbook. Multiple worksheets can be combined under a file is called a workbook. Now suppose if I save this file, this sheet number 1, sheet number 2, sheet number 3, or if I add one more sheet number 4, sheet number 5, all of these sheets will be saved in a file, and this file will be called a workbook. So we can say a workbook is combination of multiple worksheets. So multiple worksheets combined under a file is known as workbook. Next topic that we are going to study is entering data in worksheet. What are the types of data that you can enter in a worksheet? 3 types of data can be entered in MS Excel worksheet. You can enter data as number, you can enter data as text, or you can enter formula also. For example, you can see I have entered number. You can see number is right aligned. Now I have entered text. Text is left aligned. And then I can enter formula also. For example, this one is a formula, B3 plus B4. So 3 types of things we can enter in a worksheet, in a cell in a worksheet: numbers, text, and formula. So first of all, we are going to study numbers. Numbers, these are numeric entries and they are used in calculation. You can do calculation with numbers. In MS Excel, a number can contain only the following things. It can have the digits from 0 to 9, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. If digits are only there, they will be treated as numbers by the software. If the numbers are having the sign plus or minus, so if you are writing, for example, I am writing numbers 2 and 5, so it is number. If I will put plus 2, 5, Excel will ignore plus sign. It will be written as 2, 5, 25 only. If I will write minus sign, it will give a minus sign. All of these will be regarded as numbers, and Excel will allow me to do calculation on these data. We can put brackets also. We can use comma for numbers, for big numbers. We have so big numbers as E and small e. We can use percentage also with the numbers. For example, 25 and then percentage. I can do calculations on this one also. This one will also be seen as a number, and we can do calculation here also. MS Excel ignores leading plus sign. If you will put a plus sign on the number, it will ignore the plus sign. You can see it was plus 36, but it ignored the plus sign. But it will not ignore the minus sign. If I will put minus sign, it will take this sign. Okay, and treats a single period as decimal. Means if you will write a single period 25, and then if you will give a single period and then you will write 25, it will be seen as a decimal number, 25.25. So a single period is seen as a decimal. Now all other combinations of numbers, or if you will write non-numeric characters, they are seen as text. For example, if you will write plus 17, it is a number. If you will write minus 20, it is a number. 18.2, it is a number. Are all numbers, but RS17 is not a number. It will be seen as text. You can see text is left aligned. So if I will write RS25, it will be seen as text. You can see it is left aligned. 2.2.5, a single dot will be seen as decimal, but double dots will not be seen as decimal. They will be seen as text. You can see it is also left aligned. 13 plus 5 is also seen as a text value. 13 plus 5, it is also seen as a text value. So only numbers are allowed with plus or minus sign before them. Next entry that you can place in a text in a cell is text entry. These are the text entries. It is not a number and it is also not a formula. We can place text entries in the cell of a worksheet. These entries will not be used in calculations. Numbers and formula both combined together are called value and they are used in calculation. But text is not used in calculation. So in MS Excel, text is any combination of anything. Number with alphabet, numbers, only alphabet, spaces are there, it will also be seen as text, and non-numeric characters. If you will use any non-numeric character, it will also be seen as text. Now for example, combination of numbers and text. Okay, for example, here you can see it is only a combination of number, so it will be seen as number, right aligned. But if I will combine numbers with text, it will be seen as text and it will be left aligned. If you will use spaces in numbers, it will also be seen as text. For example, 25 and then space 2, 3, 4. You can see it is also left aligned because it is seen as text by MS Excel. Or if you will use any non-numeric characters like dash, it will also be seen as text. Next thing is formula. We can enter formula also in a cell. What are these formulae? These are the entries that describe the relationship among cells. For example, I am writing equal to B2 plus B3. So it is actually defining relationship between two cells, B2 and B3. So these are the entries that describe the relationships among cells and generally are instructions that are used to calculate or manipulate numbers. For example, I am writing a formula equal to 2 plus 3. So here I am manipulating a number 5. So these are used to calculate numbers or manipulate numbers. Now a formula can contain value. Value means it can be number also, it can be cell address also. It contains operator also. It contains cell address also. So a formula can contain value means numbers or any formula itself, or it contains operators like plus, minus, operator for multiply, operator for divide, and it contains one more thing, cell address. Let us see this. Here we have a formula with cell address. We have operator plus for addition, minus for subtraction, asterisk for multiplication, and slash for division. So C4 and then I am using asterisk and then I am writing C7. Okay, and then I will press enter key because the data in these two cells is nothing. That's why I got the answer as 0. So it can contain values means numbers, it can contain operators also, it can contain cell address also. It can also contain function. For example, if I will write here equal to and then I am using a function sum equal to sum, and then I want to sum from this range, from this cell to this cell, and then I will press enter. So I will get the value. Suppose 25 is here and 36 is here, and suppose I want to use this one. Okay, they have used a formula here. Let me clear all of these things first. Now we can see a function. Suppose we have two numbers 45 and 56 and I am using a function equal to sum. I want to sum these two numbers So I will just do like this and then I will press enter. You can get the value 101. So it can also contain a function. Every formula in MS Excel must start with equal to sign, otherwise it will not be seen as a formula. Suppose if I write like this, equal to B2 B3 plus B4, it will be seen as a formula, equal to B3 plus B4. But if I will not write equal to sign, then it will be treated as a text. You can see it is left aligned because it is seen as a text. It is not seen as a formula. If I will write like this, equal to 3 plus 4, it will give me the answer 7. Okay, but if I will not use equal to sign, it will not be seen as a formula. It will be seen as a text. You can see it is left aligned, so it is seen as a text. So every formula, if you want to write a formula, you must start with equal to sign. If you forget to start a formula with equal to sign, it will be treated as text rather than a formula. Now the next topic that we are going to study is entering simple formula. So here we have our sheet, a blank sheet. I am taking a blank sheet, and here I am writing some text from the book. For example, it is written ABC stores, and then I am writing bill, and then we have number, then we have dated written here, then we have serial number, then item, then price, then quantity, and then we have value 1 2 3. Item is X Y Z. You can see numbers are right aligned and text is left aligned. Now price 200, 150 and 300. Quantity 7, 5 and 10. Value, now we want to get the value. So you can see we have used the item X. X is priced 200 and they have bought 7 in quantity. So I have to multiply these two. Either I can write like this, 200 into 7, I will get my answer. Otherwise I can write the cell address also in the formula, equal to the address of this cell is C7. It will take the value of C7, then multiply, then D7, and then press enter. Now for other formulas, we do not need to write the formula again. We will just use this fill handle. This is fill handle. It will become a plus sign and I will just drag it and it will give me the value. So this way we have used one operator for multiplication. So this way we can enter a simple formula in a cell. Next thing is selecting a range using a mouse. How can we select a range using a mouse? Click on the starting cell from where you want to select the range. Then pressing the left mouse button, you will start dragging. This way we can select a range. Suppose I want to select this range, the values of this range. I will just click here and then start dragging. Then start dragging. Selecting a range using keyboard. If you want to select a range using keyboard, the key that we are going to use is Shift key. So suppose I am here in this cell and I want to select this whole range, then I will press the shift key and then I will use the arrow buttons, arrow keys, left arrow keys, right arrow keys, down arrow keys. First I started with the right arrow keys and then I am using the down arrow keys, and this way I can select a range using keyboard, shift key. Editing cell contents by overwriting. You can edit a cell content by overwriting also. Suppose we have a cell content here, 7 is written here. If you want to change the value from 7 to 25, you will just overtype. Just write 23 here and press enter. It will take the value 23. Again, if you want to change the value from 23 to 70, just type 70 here and then press enter. So this way you can overwrite on a cell to change the value. Suppose you want to change the value from 10 to 9. Just overwrite and then press enter. This way we can edit a cell content by overwriting. One more thing we can do, we can edit a cell content by editing option also. How can we do this? Suppose we have 70 written here and I want to make this value as 700. So just I have to increase 10 here. So instead of overwriting, I can just go for editing. So either I will click here and then I will add 10 here and press enter, or I can double click here also and using arrow keys I can now put 0, or I can click here and then I will press F2. Then I am inside the cell and from here I can change the value. So 3 ways are there. Either we can use the formula bar, or we can double click here to change the value, or when I will click here I can press F2. It will take me inside the cell and I can change the value by editing. Next thing is undo and redo. Undoing an action which we have done means reversing that action or erasing that action. Suppose the value which I have written is 70 and now I have changed the value from 70 to 800, and that is a mistake by me, and I want to undo my action. I want to reverse my previous action. I think the action done by me was wrong, so I can just go for undo. Here you can see these are the 2 buttons, undo, this is redo. So we will just click here undo and it will change it to the previous value. It will undo my action, reverse my action, erase my action. Now one more thing is redo. Redo means redoing means action. Redoing an action means repeating an action. Suppose what I did was correct and by mistake I just deleted it. So I can go for redo also. When I will click on redo, it will change the value to 800. So if you want to go one way forward, then you can go for redo. If you want to go one way backward, you can go for undo. Redo means repeating an action which you have done, and undoing means reversing that action or erasing that action if you have done a mistake, or if you want to change your previous action, or if you want to repeat your action, you can go for redo. If you want to change your action, you will go for undo. So we have seen how we can undo or redo an action. Now next thing we are going to study is how to insert additional row in Excel. Suppose we have so many rows here, but I want to insert a row in between 6 and 7. I want to insert one more row in between these two. So what we will do, we will click here, okay, and then here we have the option insert, okay, and then you will see the option comes insert sheet rows. You can see one row added, one row inserted, okay. Again we can see it we have to select the row which we want to add. We want to add between 6 and 7, so I've selected 7. We will select 7, then right click, and then you can click on insert here also. It will insert a row above 7. So if you want to insert a row in between 6 and 7, we will click on 7. If you want to insert a row between 8 and 9, we will click on 9, and then right click and then insert. You can see one row we have added. Next is how to insert additional column in Excel. Suppose I want to insert an additional column in between D and E. In between D and E, I will just select the entire column. Then I will go here, click on insert, drop down, and from here I will select insert sheet columns, and then we have one more column added in between D and E. This is also named E. Okay. One more way is we can just right click and then we can click on insert. It will insert one column. So we have two methods to do this. Suppose the work done by me is wrong, so I can undo my action by clicking here. One more thing is there, we have the shortcut for undo, Control plus Z. I am just going for Control plus Z. You can see I have undone my action. I have undone my action. Now if you want to delete any row, or if you want to delete any column, if you want to delete any row or if you want to delete any column, you will first select the row or the column. Suppose I want to delete this whole row. I will select this row, then I will just go here, delete, and then I will click on delete sheet rows. The entire row will get deleted. Now suppose I have done this by mistake, so I can just use undo, and I am at my previous action. If you want to delete an entire column, suppose I want to delete this column, again I will select the entire column, select delete from drop down menu from here, and then I will click on delete sheet column. This option is available in home tab, and the group is cells group. In this group we will find insert also and delete also. So delete and delete sheet columns, the whole column will get deleted. Suppose I have done a mistake, then I will go to undo, and I am having the column back. I can do one more thing, select the column, right click, and then I can click on delete from here also. It will delete the entire column. Now our next topic is copying data. If I want to copy a data from one place to another, means I want to create two copies of the same data and I want to paste this copy at another location, I can go for copy. In copy, the original data gets copied at the specified new location and data at the original location remains intact. Means the data at the original location remains there, but we create one copy and that copy is specified, printed, that copy is printed, that copy is saved on this new location. So what happens? Data at the original position remains at that same place, but one more copy is created and this copy is saved in this new location. That is, there are two copies of the same data when we perform copy. Let us see this. Suppose I want to copy this data from here and I want to create one more copy here. So I will just select the data. Then for copying we have the option in clipboard. Here we have the option copy. I will just click on copy. This whole data will get copied. So in its original location it is intact, it is not going anywhere. But if I want to paste it here, I will click here and then I will go to paste option. You can see paste option is here in the clipboard, and then I click here. you can see the original data is intact at its original location, but one more copy is created and this copy is saved here or copied here. So we have two same data in the same worksheet. If we go for copy, so we have seen how to copy data from one location to another. What happened? Now there are two copies of the same data because we have performed the copy operation. But when we go for the moving operation, or if we perform cut operation, then in move the original data get copied at the specified new location, but the original data gets deleted from its original location. The data gets copied at the specified new location, but it gets deleted from the previous location. Thus we can say only single copy of the data remains in the worksheet if we go for move operation or cut operation. Let us see this. Suppose we have only a single data here. I will select the data and I want to move. For move we will go for cut. I will click here cut. The whole data got cut from here and I want to paste it here, so I will click here and then click on paste. You can see the same data got deleted from its original or previous location and it got saved in its new location. So in move or in cut operation we do not create copies, we just move the data from one place to another. Our next topic is using autofill feature. Sometimes we need to copy the same data multiple times. So we don't want to copy, we will just drag, and dragging will create multiple copies of the same data. In autofill, if we drag a range boundary of a range in a specific manner, we will discuss how we will drag, the series gets automatically filled using the fill handle. So let us see this. Okay, suppose we have written 23 and I want 23 in all of the cells. So I will just use fill handle. We can see what is fill handle. A fill handle is a small black square in the corner of the selection. So in the corner of this selection here we have a black square, and if I will place my mouse cursor here, it will become a plus sign and I can just press the left mouse button and then I can drag. The same data will get copied. Suppose I want to write here class 7C. Then again I have to write here class 7C. So I will not be writing this again and again. What I will do, I will just drag using the fill handle and all the cells will have this value 7C. So this is using the autofill feature. Here I have used the fill handle to drag. Next topic is filling by dragging fill handle. Here you can see I have filled the same data. But if I want to create a series, suppose I want to create a series like this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We usually write this for writing your roll numbers. I don't want to create this series and type all the data. So we have one option here. What we can follow. We can copy the data within a row or column. Suppose I want to copy this data 1 and then I want to create a series after 1, 2. I want the series to start with 1, then 2, and then I want it to be having 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 like this. So I can do this. I can extend the series also. In the previous one it was written actually copying data within a row or column. So if you want to copy the same data within a row or column. So here you can see I have copied the same data within this column. If I want to copy the same data within a row, then we have this option. I will place the mouse cursor at the fill handle, then drag it. It will copy the same data in the whole row. So if you want to copy the same data in the whole row, you can do this, or if you want to copy the same data in the whole column, also you can do this by using the fill handle. The whole data will get copied either in row wise or column wise. If you want to extend a series, then what we have to do? Now we want to create a series. Suppose I have the first two part of this series 1, I have the value 1, then I have the value 2, and then I want to write 3 here, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, but I don't want to type the data again and again. I want to go for extending the series. So what I will do, I will select these two cells, okay, and then I will go to fill handle, and then I will drag it. It will automatically fill the data 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, like this. Okay, so this we can do with numbers. If we want to go for any other data, we have this option also. Suppose years 2012, 2013. Okay, so I want to go like this. So I will select these two cells and then I will just drag 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, like this we can fill a series, we can extend a series. Okay, now for time, if we want to have time 1 hour, suppose 9 AM, then 10, then 11, then 12, we do not need to write anything as a series. We will just drag and we will get the time 9 and then 10, then 11, then 12, then 13, then 14, then 15, like this. We do not need to write two cells here. Likewise, in days of a week, if you will write MON Monday, the computer will automatically take it as you want to create a series like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. If you will write like this MONDAY, again the computer is able to understand that you want to extend a series Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Likewise, if you will write the name of the month JAN, January, computer understand that you want to create a series of months February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Likewise, we can write the whole also January, and from here just I can drag and then I will get all the month January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. Okay, so likewise we can do this. Now suppose you want to create a series like this 2, and then you want the value 4, then you want the value 6, then 8, then 10, then 12. So you can do like this also. Select these two, then again drag 6, then 8, then 10, then 12, then 14, then 16, then 18, then 20, then 22, 24, like this. So we can create any type of series we want using the fill handle. This is called autofill option, and this option is available in Excel. One more thing is, suppose you write product 1, it will automatically give you product 2, product 3, product 4, product 5, like this. So these are automatically saved, previously saved, and they take the text like it. For example, one more thing, suppose you write text 1 and then you write anything else, suppose text A, then see what happens. Text 2, text A, text 3, text A, text 4, text A, because text is saved, text 1, then text 2, then text 3, then text 4 automatically, and text A is same to same is getting copied. Okay,